You know, Tampa Bay is known for its incredible marine life, right? And world-class sport fishing. But could the bay one day be known for oysters? Yeah, oysters. We found one local family that's determined to make it happen.
Lindsay Rosegger and his father Tom are cruising through Tampa Bay on their way to his farm. What Brian is harvesting doesn't grow in the ground.
First stop.
Each one of these floating bags is filled with oysters. They are the first aquaculture farmed oysters in the history of Tampa Bay.
Fresh.
Brian saw opportunities. He watched the iconic Apalachicola oyster fishery upstate get shut down after years of drought and other pressures destroyed wild oyster beds. He says aquaculture farming like this could help alleviate pressure on fishery populations all around Florida that have suffered from decades of wild harvesting.
It becomes increasingly clear that we can't continue to harvest at the rates that we have historically, especially when you consider the need for future demands.
So why Tampa Bay?
It's just an itch that nobody's scratched yet.
Lost Coast Oyster Company leases 2 acres of pristine water from the state in the Terracea Aquatic Preserve near the Sunshine Skyway Bridge.
I knew that there were guys that were growing clams here in Tampa Bay, and that tells me if there's food for clams, there's probably going to be food for oysters too.
Brian spends entire days at the farm.
A little more dense in these bags than I'd like to see them.
Spacing oysters as they grow so they don't compete for food.
3, 2, 1. A 3-inch long, 2 inches wide, and 1 inch deep. That's what we're looking for.
In the northeastern U.S., a typical oyster can take 2 years to go from spawn to harvest. But here in Florida, with our warmer waters, especially in Tampa Bay, it's happening in less than a year.
They grow like weeds here.
Faster growth fills the incessant demand quicker.
We have no shortage of restaurants that are buying oysters from all over the place, whether it's, Massachusetts, Virginia, Louisiana. I said, there's no reason they shouldn't be buying an oyster from Tampa Bay.
Lost Coast is a small family business. Just Brian, his wife Lindsay, and little Nova.
It's something we look forward to every week, is doing our deliveries.
They regularly deliver fresh oysters straight from the bay to a few St. Pete restaurants like Alto Moray Fish Bar.
It's been an amazing opportunity for us, and we're actually starting to use a lot of local stuff here. We're pushing for a big local push, so it's awesome to get started with the oysters because that's our backbone right now.
Lindsay says as the farm grows, they'll be able to supply more restaurants.
It's just me and Brian right now, so we're a small, humble operation, and we're definitely struggling to keep up a little bit with the demand, which we're very, very thankful for. It's a great problem to have.
All right, that's good.
And Brian says while they may be pioneers of sustainable oyster farming in Tampa Bay, they hope they're not alone.
We hope that we can inspire other people to follow in our path, and we want to put Tampa Bay on the map. Oysters are a lot like wine. The grapes of a wine, they embody the soil in which they're grown, and so an oyster is an immediate reflection of the water in which it was grown. So our oysters, they taste like home.
Reviving a lost industry in uncharted waters in our own backyard.
Now, right now, there's around 100,000 oysters growing at the farm, but Brian says they've got the capacity to grow over 500,000. If you'd like to order some Lost Coast oysters online or find out what restaurants are serving them, go to lostcoastoysters.com and check it out.